Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window where today, even though we did see a lot of clouds out there, I think all of us would agree that it was an improvement over that low cloud deck and fog that we've had in place over the last 3 days because of that inversion. That did lift, and we just saw a normal weather pattern today, which are clouds, I should say, ahead of a pretty big weather system, but a beautiful shot at the Columbia River in the Wenatchee Valley from our Wenatchee Heights East camera. Thanks to Sky 5 for that beautiful shot. We are seeing clouds. That's because we have a very active weather pattern coming our way beginning tonight, and it will last through Thursday. We could see a lot of snow. In fact, about 1 to 3 inches of snow in the Wenatchee area and also up in the Okanagan area tonight, overnight. That won't begin until about midnight or so. And then by tomorrow, we'll see snow early with rain mixed with snow in the afternoon. But keep in mind, tomorrow morning you could see a very slippery roadways around East Wenatchee and Wenatchee. And here we go, winter storm advisory, winter weather advisory, I should say, for the area in purple on that map. And that does include Winthrop, Omak, Wenatchee, Ellensburg, all the way down to Pasco, down in the Deep Basin. So a pretty big storm headed our way, and we will tell you more about that coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. We'll have reaction to Governor Jay Inslee's State of the Union address from Senator Brad Hawkins, and Wisconsin-based Shopko Incorporated filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection from creditors on Wednesday. But first, we begin tonight in his State of the State address on Tuesday. Washington Governor Jay Inslee focused heavily on climate change, mental health reforms, and a free college program, all part of his proposed $54.6 billion budget. That's a 21% increase in state spending. Inslee called on legislators to be bold in taking on the challenges the state faces.
Now, I know the things we are proposing this year are not small or easy, but good things in our story have not happened through timidity. They have happened because of our optimism and because of our past bold action. Good things in our story have happened because we didn't give up. So again, I ask you, which Washington story will prevail? The story where we rested on our laurels, or the story where we rose up, we called out, and we wrote a golden chapter that's worthy of our best selves? This chapter will show we answered our obligation to lead with higher expectations. This chapter will show that we made Washington better for everyone seeking a fair shot. This chapter will show that we defended the values that we stand for. And more than anything, this chapter will show the heart of who we are. We're the people who always make history. I really believe in the state of Washington, and I believe our next Washington chapter must show that we push the limit, we move beyond that plateau, and we always looked for the next beginning. So let this be our profound story. Let it be bold, and most of all, let it make history. So let's get to work. Thanks a lot.
12th District Senator Brad Hawkins said Inslee's proposals sound good, but paying for them is another matter. This year, he said, with Democrats having a 28-21 advantage in the Senate and a 57-41 advantage in the House, the state could be looking at major tax increases.
Really, it was one of those things where everybody was so upbeat about it because he wanted to do all these things. But there was one thing he didn't cover in his speech, which is how we as a state are going to pay for all these things. And so that was one thing I noted. He didn't get to talking about his proposed tax increases that he rolled out a couple weeks ago. In the past, the governor has proposed something similar, both with the proposed capital gains tax, which would be a new capital gains income tax in the state of Washington. Governor's also proposed significant increases in the business and occupation taxes, and Altogether, I think his revenue, additional revenue through his taxes, were in the neighborhood of $3 billion or more. And that concerns me a great deal. But in the past, the governor and the majority parties haven't had the votes to advance them. But the pendulum, as you know, has swung quite a bit over with these recent elections. Of the 49 members in the state Senate, 28 are Democrat and 21 are Republican. And so really, I guess what it comes down to is whether they're really serious about advancing those priorities and those tax increases, because I do believe they have the votes this year to advance those if they want to. So unlike past years, unfortunately for the people of the state of Washington, we could be seeing some significant tax increases from Olympia.
Wisconsin-based Shopko filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection from creditors on Wednesday. The retailer says it will close 105 stores nationwide. Shopko closures in Washington state include stores in Yakima, Lacey, Pullman, and Spokane. The company said excessive debt and ongoing competitive pressures forced it to seek protection from creditors. It reported assets of less than $1 billion and liabilities between $1 billion and $10 billion. A pharmaceutical drug company says the retailer owes it $67 million. Shopko reported in December that it was closing 39 retail stores across the country, including Washington. The closures do not extend to the store located at the Valley North Mall in Wenatchee. Shopko has struggled in recent years alongside national brands such as Sears and Toys R Us. Coming up next, the future of law enforcement in Tonasket is still uncertain after the town's embattled mayor disbands the police department. 2018 was a record year at Pangbourne Airport in terms of commercial airline passenger boardings, and Waste Management will begin providing garbage service to the City of Leavenworth residents next month. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job.
I'm working now, thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, the future of law enforcement in Tonasket is still uncertain after the town's embattled mayor disbands the police department. NCWLIFE Steve Hare has been following this story out of Okanogan County.
The OMAC Chronicle reports the issue was discussed Tuesday night at a town hall meeting hosted by the town's Public Safety Committee, along with Okanogan County Commissioner Andy Hover and Okanogan County Sheriff Tony Hawley. Around 60 people attended the meeting at the Tonasket Elementary School. Some residents appeared to support the concept of the city contracting with the county. Others said they would rather rebuild the city's police department or a combination of both.
A 5-year contract would give us time to build a new police station, raise the monies, and start a new police department. This is true. So what is everybody sniveling about?
Last month, the city's mayor, Dennis Brown, terminated Police Chief Darren Odegaard and Officer John Cruz. They were later rehired, but then refired. Brown is also accused by another police officer of making racist comments. Last week, Officer Jose Perez claimed the mayor asked him to change his name from Jose to Joseph because he said it sounded too stereotypical and too Hispanic, end quote. 2 council members cast votes of no confidence in the mayor. He stated he would not resign. City Council is expected to resume talks on the matter during next Tuesday's regular meeting. Steve Hare, NCWLIFE News.
2018 was a record year at Pangbourne Airport in terms of commercial airline passenger boardings. Total passenger volume of 127,563 is a record for the airport. Due to passenger growth in 2017, Alaska Air added additional flights during the summer and holidays in 2018. Chelan County Port officials say another major factor in the record passenger numbers was a significant reduction in cancellations in 2018. The percentage of canceled flights fell from 5.9% in 2017 to 2.7% in 2018. Officials add that progress is also being made in efforts to secure additional service to San Francisco. The airport has held meetings with several interested airlines, including Alaska Air, United, and SkyWest, with the goal of obtaining new service by mid-2020. The airport is jointly owned by the ports of Chelan and Douglas counties. In other news, Waste Management will begin providing garbage service to the city of Leavenworth residents on Monday, February 4th. Residents may choose from 3 sizes of garbage containers at different prices. Cart sizes are 35, 64, or 96 gallons. Resistant carts, and additional services including bulky waste collection and 3-yard containers for small residential cleanups are available at extra cost. No action is necessary to begin garbage service. Recycling remains an optional service and no action is necessary for current recycling customers. The city handled garbage services prior to contracting with Waste Management. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Hi, Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. When you think of Alpine Air in Wenatchee, think of professional, friendly customer service for all your heating and cooling needs. Alpine Air partners with Carrier, manufacturers of some of the best heating and air conditioning equipment available today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Visit our store in Wenatchee, meet our people, see our shop. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In our feature story tonight, we take a look at a TVW documentary of incarcerated youth at Green Hill School Detention Facility in Chehalis who traveled to the state capitol for the signing of a juvenile justice reform bill they helped pass into law.
I was charged when I was 16 with attempted murder and a burglary in the first degree.
What?
$1 million bail, 25 to life. And so I just sat in county for 9 months praying to God,
That's 4 years ago. That literally doesn't look like him.
It doesn't.
And luckily, my victim, which I thank God every day for, thought that I would benefit more if I stayed in a juvenile facility. She was like, this is just a young 16-year-old boy who, you know, was getting straight A's in high school and just made a horrible mistake, but I don't want him to have to suffer for the rest of his life. He can change.
That's called being in county jail for 9 months, 23 and 1. That's what that is.
I just feel like there's a stigma with criminals and crime.
One at a time.
This stigma of you're a criminal, you're always going to be a criminal. I'm sorry as it gets for my crime. But when that judge hit the gavel and said, this is your sentence, that's me paying my debt back to society. America has what, like 2.3 million people in prison? What does that say? We should just lock people away and just throw away the key?
And Joe.
And just keep this vicious cycle going? I think that messed up youth can turn into messed up adults. And so if they're not being helped, it's just gonna mess up society. We got involved with Capital Classroom, which is an agreement between TVW and Green Hill School, basically, where we met with a lobbyist once a week for the entire legislative session.
We learned more about how the legislation session works, how to kind of like support a bill.
Our lobbyist, Carolyn Logue, she asked us which bills we would like to work on.
And so we found a couple bills that we were interested in.
We chose Senate Bill 6160 and House Bill 2907.
And Gross Second Substitute Senate Bill 6160. Hearing no objection, so ordered.
What it did is it raises the juvenile age to 25.
And so when a youth gets sentenced to juvenile life, it's no longer until 21, it's now 25.
And it eliminates the auto decline law for certain offenses.
If you're charged an adult at 16 or 17, those are only two ages you can be charged an adult as, what's called being auto decline.
Keeping them in the JRA system, they have more treatment opportunities rather than going to a DOC facility where treatment opportunities aren't really available.
You know, to stay here for a little bit longer and work on themselves, work on the things they need to get done in order to transition back into the community and be successful and not go back to the old lifestyle.
We're going to help the community by reducing crime, and we're going to recognize the ambitions of youth who we understand have positive futures, and we want to thank 4 of them who are here today, who are helping us along the road. We want to thank their voices of getting a good bill into law, and thanks for Senator Cooter.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. But before we get to all the very wet details, let's take a look outside our weather window today and a beautiful shot from Wenatchee Heights. And thank you to Sky 5 for providing that beautiful picture of the Columbia River and, of course, the Wenatchee Valley. Just a skiff and a dusting of snow on the hills right now. We also see what's called a little hoarfrost on some of the sagebrush around the Wenatchee area today. It's basically fog that froze on the branches and leaves of the vegetation around, making for a very beautiful sight today. But we didn't get that warm once again today. We did get rid of that low cloud deck and fog, but temperatures, I guess, where we should be for this time of year, but just not all that warm. We started off at 25, but only got to about 32 this afternoon. 34 is our normal high. Record high for this date is 55 degrees, set back in 1994, and our record low is 6, set in 1997. Still no new precipitation the past 24 hours. That will probably change. In fact, it will change when we get together tomorrow night for the evening news. Still setting at just a little bit above 0.2 of an inch of moisture for the year. Sunrise this morning was at 7:43, and the sun set this afternoon. It's getting later at 4:39. All right, let's show you what we can expect now beginning tonight at 10 o'clock. By then, that storm system just off the coast, and look at the size of that system. Will be swinging moisture up into north central Washington. A 90% chance of snow. We have a winter weather advisory that will go into effect tonight at midnight. That will run until noon tomorrow because we have a 100% chance of snow tomorrow, maybe another inch or 2 of snow possible as this system continues to pump a strong area of moisture into north central Washington. By tomorrow night at 8 p.m., still cloudy skies, a 70% chance of, yes, rain mixed with snow because we become more influenced then by a very strong southwesterly flow that will actually warm us up. Look at that, coming almost from the south. Our best day, Friday, mostly cloudy skies, just a slight chance of maybe a scattered shower. And then by Friday at 10 o'clock, the next storm system moves in. And this is what we call an atmospheric river of moisture. I'll show you a wider shot of this. This area of low pressure will continue to slide north. And here's that wider look. You can go all the way out almost to Japan and the Hawaiian Islands, and moisture is sweeping into the Pacific Northwest. That's why all rain showers this weekend. A 60% chance on Saturday. That goes up to an 80% chance for rain on Sunday. It will be a wet weekend. The good news, mild temperatures. We will be about 5 to 10 degrees above normal for high temperatures throughout the end of the week and into this weekend. A few scattered showers early next week, and we may be even talking 45 to 50 degrees by the end of next week. Let's take a look at your quick lube and tune forecast now. Tonight we'll drop down to 28 degrees. Remember, winter weather advisory in effect beginning at midnight tonight until noon tomorrow. It could be a pretty tricky commute tomorrow morning. Be careful with some accumulated snow out there and maybe a little bit of ice. 35 our high temperature for Thursday. Still a 100% chance of precipitation on Monday, or I should say Thursday. It will change to rain mixed with snow in the afternoon. And then a nice warm up, as I mentioned. 41 on Friday, mostly cloudy and warmer. And then the rain showers move in for Saturday and Sunday. A 60% chance on Saturday. That goes up to an 80% chance of rain on Sunday. Still mild as we kick off our next week. Mostly cloudy both Monday and Tuesday, with highs 41 on Monday and 42 degrees on Tuesday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Dan Kuntz and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers, or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a good Wednesday to you. Once again, Dan Kuntz filling in for Eric Grandstrom, who's on vacation. Who's kidding who? He'll be back by the end of the week. Eastmont Lane's busy and loud yesterday afternoon. Both Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats girls bowling teams held matches simultaneously. Both teams emerged victorious. The Panthers swept the Ellensburg Bulldogs, and the Wildcats dispatched the Sela Vikings, of course, non-league contests, both of them. Panthers are off for the rest of the week. Eastmont faces West Valley today, and they travel to Moses Lake tomorrow. The Panther and Wildcat wrestling squads fell by the wayside last night. The Sunnyside Grizzlies kept their perfect season intact, routing Wenatchee 61-12, while in Yakima, the Wildcats dropped a close match to the Eisenhower Cadets 42-34. High school basketball results from last night, and that is not a typo, that score that you see there. That's right, Cashmere girls beating Cascade 62-6. OMAC got the better of Chelan 55-33. The Antioch girls edged Moses Lake Christian, and Bridgeport topped Manson 63-60. Turning to boys basketball from last night, Cashmere swamped Cascade by 26 points. OMAC improved to 4-4 in league play with a victory over Chelan, and Moses Lake Christian scored a home victory over Antioch. Hey, the Wenatchee Wild welcome the first place Penticton V's to the Town Toyota Center tonight. It's a Wednesday night game. V's are leading the interior division with 57 points. The Wild sit in third place with 52 points. By the way, tonight is $1 beer and hot dog night. That means through the first intermission, those two items, beer and hot dog, just $1. Well, the Mariner Caravan rolled into town yesterday afternoon at the Pybus Public Market. Mariner broadcaster Dave Sims did the honor of introducing the two pitchers who made the trip.
First guy I want to bring up is a reliever, came over from the Cleveland organization, pitched really well for us in 14 games last year, 15 innings, 15 strikeouts, 3 walks, sub 1.5 ERA, right-hander, and I think he's going to get a lot of work this year. Sean Armstrong. And our leading winner last year, he had an unbelievable run late June into July, 5-0, about a 1.5 ERA. And finished with 13 wins, best on the club. And a local guy, you're familiar with him from his exploits at Gonzaga, Marco Gonzalez.
Sims, Armstrong, and Gonzalez all spoke about a Mariner offseason that saw a huge turnover in the roster.
You can't help but notice all the changes that were made. I was just wondering what you guys, we got to get your thoughts. Sean, we use that other mic right now. As a player, as a broadcaster, I know that when I get home next week, I'm going to literally be making flashcards because we have so much new personnel. I think we have 3 or 4 returning position players. We have 3 or 4 pitchers who are returning. So it's a real get-to-know-you situation, and I'm sure a lot of guys are going to have name tags on when we get down to Arizona in a few weeks. But what did you guys think when you saw all the moves that Jerry was making during the offseason?
Yeah, you know, it's you build a relationship with your teammates, and this baseball business that we're in, it's kind of a revolving door at times. And I know Sean and I have both been traded in our careers, and we've been up and down, AAA, the big leagues, and you're constantly meeting new people and becoming friends with new guys. So it's nothing new for us, but however, you do miss those guys that are gone, and you know, we're going to have some big holes to fill. But I think when you look at what we've done and what we're trying to do going forward, we're trying to build a team that's going to win a championship here. And I think we're starting to get the right guys to do that. And so I'm looking forward to see how we mesh together as a group. And I know this Japan trip coming up is going to be great for that. We're going to get a lot of team bonding. We're going to have a team that comes back ready, you know, at the end of spring training, ready to go. So I'm excited and I'm hopeful for this.
Armstrong told the crowd, and there was a big crowd at the Pipers Puppet Market, that despite all the changes in personnel, the goals for the 2019 Mariners remain the same.
Hey, Sean, let me ask you this. What's that bonding process like when you've got, you know, 30 new guys? I mean, you may know of, you played against them at some point, maybe in college or in the minor leagues, but, you know, now you got one goal, one team together. What's that like, that many guys trying to put it together?
I mean, you said it best. You know, our main goal is to win. And when you have a core group coming in that are hungry, young, and want to, you know, make their names and their careers known, and our goal is to, you know, bring a championship to Seattle, I mean, it makes it easy because we're we're playing towards one goal and we're playing together as one team. So, I mean, that's what it's going to take, that bond that Marco talks about. And again, that Japan trip is going to be huge for us. And I think we're both very excited to see what this year brings.
Pitchers and catchers report in just a couple of weeks. The first Cactus League game for the Mariners is February 21st. Season opener, by the way, is the earliest in Major League Baseball history. They'll play March 20th in Tokyo against the Athletics to open the 2019 campaign. Now, those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And as we leave you tonight, we leave you with video of a rural rancher who, after calling for his black lab dog, realized his pet made new friends along the way.
He's got another dog with him. But oh wait, he's got a goat in tow. Hey goat, you want to get in my truck too? Come on, hop in there. Everybody just get in. Come on, get in there. Yep, hop in. I'll take y'all with me. Yep, I got a goat and 2 dogs in my truck.
And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and other stuff. the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.